Hello and welcome to NSO at Home Live, a concert series created by the musicians of the National Symphony Orchestra. My name is Marissa Regni. I'm the principal second violin of the National Symphony, and I'll be your host tonight and every Sunday night as we bring live music into your homes and hopefully into your hearts. This is our 5th show. It's hard to believe, and it's been a great success thanks to all of you for tuning in every week and telling all your family and your friends and neighbors. We so appreciate your support. We had a terrific show last week. It was a bonus show last Friday afternoon, a week about 10 days ago. And we were joined by principal violist Dan Foster and his family, cellist Rachel Young and her husband Tony, and piccolo player Carol Bean. And we thank them so much for their amazing music and stories. And we were joined by our maestro, music director Jean Andrea Noceda, all the way from his home in Italy, for just a great, he co-hosted with me. We had so much fun talking and listening to some amazing performances. So thank you to all of those musicians for their wonderful artistry. And we've got a fun show for you tonight. We're doing the whole show from my house. I'll be your host and the performer. I'm really excited because in past shows, if you remember, we've had family members joining in on the fun and joining our NSO musicians. And tonight is no exception. I have decided to drag my family into the act. I'm very excited about it. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you all my very first victim of the night. My husband, Henry Edwards, is going to join us. Welcome, Henry.
Thank you, Marissa.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
I'm so happy to have you here. So Henry is not a musician by vocation. You are a teacher. Tell everybody where you teach.
I teach at the New School of Northern Virginia, which is in Fairfax City. It's a middle school and high school. It's a wonderful school. Great place to teach, great place to learn.
Yeah. But you did a lot of music growing up, right? You studied
violin, trumpet, then took up guitar in high school and college.
Yeah. So we brushed the dust off the guitar. You haven't played the guitar in a while. Yeah.
That's true.
So
I had to change the strings. I had to practice.
This has been very fun. We're going to play a couple of fiddle tunes for you. But before we do that, when Henry's not busy brushing the dust off his guitar and teaching the kids at the New School of Northern Virginia, he's an author. He's a published author, which we're super excited about around here. And we're going to tell everybody about his fabulous book.
The Daily Better, 365 Reasons for Optimism. So there is a lot of bad stuff going on, and unfortunately right now there are a lot of tragic things happening. But it's important to remember the good things. LGBT rights, universal education. We're actually more peaceful nowadays than a lot of times in the past. So it's a little boost of positive news and remembrance that we're really good at heart.
Excellent. So hope you guys will check that out. So we're going to play some fiddle tunes, as I mentioned. The piece I opened with was actually written in the 1700s, but when I play it, people often say, that sounds like a fiddle tune. And I was like, no, it was written in 1700s in Italy. So we're going to play you some honest to goodness fiddle tunes. This is Friday Night Waltz and the Black and White Rag. Thank you. All right. Woo! Thank you, Henry.
Thank you, dear.
Thanks for brushing the dust off that guitar. So I want to remind everybody, if you're not already, please follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We're always posting all kinds of content, videos, photos. We've got all sorts of projects going on. If you follow us on Facebook and YouTube, it's NSO Musicians. If you follow us on Instagram, it's NSO_musicians. Please check out all that we're doing. We especially have some great orchestra videos that we've posted of the full orchestra, where we record our part from the privacy of our home. We send it in to our fabulous principal trumpet player, Billy Gerlach, and he edits us all together. It looks like a little Zoom meeting of the orchestra. And he's had done these incredible edits of these pieces. We recently did the finale of Beethoven 7, and in time for Memorial Day, we did the Armed Force medley. So please check those videos out. They're a lot of fun, but please look at everything. Everyone's been doing some really creative, great stuff. So please check us out. So my next victim, in our home is our daughter, Sophie, who's a junior in high school. And since we had the dust blown off the guitar, let's keep using it. So we're going to shoot over to the other side of the living room where Sophie is. Welcome, Sophie.
Hi.
Oh, there she is. This is awesome. So I'm going to interview her. This is like texting from across the table, basically.
Yes,
it really is. Yeah. So nice to see you, Sophie. So shout out to your high school, where you go.
I go to Justice High School.
Yeah, finishing up her junior year, more or less. But before you went to Justice, you were at a very special school. It's very near and dear to all of our hearts, called Burgundy Farm Country Day School. And it was at that school that you learned this next song, more or less. So tell everybody about your experience at Burgundy and how this song came about.
Yeah, so I went to Burgundy for, I guess, 9 years of my life. And so it really had an impact on me. It was also connected to a campus in West Virginia called Cooper's Cove, or Burgundy Center for Wildlife Studies, and I would go there for camp every summer for a long time, up until recently. And it was all about nature, being in nature, learning about nature, how to help it, what's going on with it, everything you need to know. Lots of activities outdoors, hiking, overnights, watching the sunrise or set. And some of my favorite memories were actually when we would sing around campfires, in kind of the mess hall room, just everywhere and anywhere. And so this is a song that we would often sing at night to the beautiful sounds of night. And it's called Down Along the Dixie Line, and I hope you like it.
Sophie. So beautiful. So I want to play one more piece for you all by myself. This is a piece by Fritz Kreisler. Now, Kreisler was a violinist. He lived in the late 1800s to mid 1900s. And he is really sort of the gold standard for many of us in terms of his sound, the beauty of his sound, his musicality. He was just an incredible musician. And he also was a composer, and he wrote a lot of just these beautiful, short, beautiful nuggets for violin and piano, these little sort of bonbons, if you will, and that are really the staple of many of our repertoire, especially for recitals and things like that. It's just a really great group of pieces. The piece I'd like to play for you is not done very often, I find. It's sort of one of the more forgotten ones. I don't know why, because it's always been one that I've loved ever since I was a young child. So I wanted to perform that for you now. I want to tell everybody about a concert that was streamed or broadcast just a few days ago, actually last Tuesday, on the Kennedy Center channels, their Facebook and YouTube channels, and also their website. And that was a young people's concert that the National Symphony performed back in October of 2016. It was called Reach for the Moon. And the reason it was rebroadcast last week is it was a week-long celebration of John F. Kennedy's birthday. His birthday would have been this past Friday, actually. And this program that we did, Reach for the Moon, was all about JFK's vision for America to explore outer space. It's actually a great celebration of his birthday, but also a celebration that yesterday there was this incredible launch of SpaceX and NASA sent this rocket ship up. It was the first time in almost 10 years that a manned flight has gone up into outer space. So it's a huge, big deal. And they were a successful launch. And I understand they were successful in docking into the space station, the International Space Station. So a great way to celebrate. And if you've got kids at home and you're trying to figure out something to do with them, this is a 40-minute concert. It's a lot of fun. We do some great music and have some fun along the way. I was the host for that show. And so I urge you to log on to that. You would go on to the Kennedy Center website. So it's kennedy-center.org/YPC. Look for Reach for the Moon, and there's other young people's concerts content on there as well. So please check it out. So now we're going to go back over to Sophie, who's picked up a smaller version of the guitar, the ukulele. So we're going to head on over to Sophie.
Whoa, hello.
Hey, how's it going? So, we're all trying to find silver linings and everything that's been happening, and we've all been stuck at home. For me, one of the silver linings has been that you have a chance to do things you didn't really have time to do before. And I always wanted to learn how to play the ukulele, and I never did. So I finally learned in the past month. Sophie was my teacher. I think she will agree that I was not the easiest student.
Not the easiest.
No, I'm not the best student. But I learned, and this past weekend, I'm very proud to say I launched my very own YouTube channel. It's called Ukulele Duets. So check it out. Basically, by the beauty of technology, I am playing duets with myself. So I play the ukulele part, I record that, and then I play my violin part, and then we put the movies together. And so if you go into Ukulele Duets, you will see me playing duets with myself. Obviously, I cannot do that tonight. So my fearless teacher is going to join me on the ukulele. We're going to play two tunes that I put on my YouTube channel. We're going to play What a Wonderful World and Dream a Little Dream of Me. So we have one more piece that we want to perform for you. But before we do that, I want to remind everybody we will be back next Sunday live at 7 p.m. Next week, I will be hosting again as always, and I will be joined by principal harp player Adriana Horn and principal bassoonist Sue Heineman. If you've ever wanted to learn about the intricacies of the harp, which are many, and Adriana is such an amazing, beautiful player, she's going to talk us through all it takes to play the harp. And Sue is one of my favorite characters in the orchestra, and she has had quite a fun little project during all this quarantining, which we were definitely going to talk about. I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but you'll definitely want to watch next week to hear all about it. So please join us next Sunday at 7, same place, Facebook, YouTube. Hope to see you there. So, as I said, we have one more piece of music. This is a wonderful rendition for solo violin and narrator. The story is Ferdinand the Bull, which some of you may have read. Oh, here it is. Let's see, I gotta get out the glare. There we go. You may have read as a child, or maybe had it read to you, right? If you saw the movie The Blind Side with Sandra Bullock, it played a special part of that movie as well. And so here to narrate the story while I play it on my violin is Sophie again. Now I've done this piece with a lot of people. Hey, so here's your part. I've done this piece with a lot of people, and we read this book. Henry and I read this book to Sophie when she was a little girl. And my dream when she was a little girl was always that someday she would be big enough and strong enough to perform this with me. And so when she got old enough, it's just been such a joy. We actually even got to do it at the Kennedy Center once, which was really fun. So here, everyone, is the story of Ferdinand.
Once upon a time in Spain, there was a little bull, and his name was Ferdinand. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together. But not Ferdinand. He liked to sit just quietly and smell the flowers. He had a favorite spot in the pasture under a cork tree. And he would sit in its shade all day. And smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and bite your head, she would say. But Ferdinand would shake his head. I like it better here, where I can sit just quietly and smell the flowers. And because his mother was understanding, even though she was a cow, she let him sit there and be happy. As the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew until he was very big and strong. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day. They would butt each other and stick each other with their horns. What they wanted most of all was to be picked to fight in the bullfights in Madrid. But not Ferdinand. He still liked to sit just quietly under the cork tree. And smell the flowers. One day, 5 men came in funny hats to pick the biggest, fastest, roughest bull of all to fight in the bullfights in Madrid. All the other bulls ran around snorting and butting, leaping and jumping, so the men would think that they were very, very, very strong and fierce, and pick them. Ferdinand knew they wouldn't pick him, and he didn't care, so he went out to his favorite cork tree to sit down. He didn't look where he was sitting. And instead of sitting on the nice, cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee. Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what would you do? How did it hurt? Ferdinand jumped up with a snort. He ran around puffing and snorting, butting and pawing the ground as if he were mad. The 5 men saw him and they all shouted with joy. Here was the largest and fiercest bull of all, just the one for the bullfights in Madrid. What a day it was. Flags were flying, bands were playing, and all the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair. They had a parade into the bull ring. First came the banderilleros. Next came the picadores. matador, the proudest of all, he thought he was very handsome and bowed to ladies. Then came the bull, and you know who that was, don't you? Ferdinand went to the middle of the bull ring. And everyone thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns around. But not Ferdinand. When he saw the flowers and all the lovely ladies' hair, he just sat down and smelled. He wouldn't fight, no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled. And the banderillas were angry, and the picadores were angry, and the matador was so angry because he couldn't show off, he cried. So they had to take Ferdinand home. And he is sitting there still, under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers just quietly. He is very happy.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I hope that we made you happy. I want to remind everybody that next Sunday we'll be back 7 o'clock with myself hosting and harpist Adriana Horn and bassoonist Sue Heineman. So please come back, and it's going to be a lot of fun next Sunday at 7. Before we go, I want to remind everybody, of course, follow us Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And I want to say a bunch of thank yous. First of all, thanks to all of you for tuning in and week out and for sharing what we're doing with the people that you know and love. We appreciate that. I want to thank our fearless producers, Bob Reardon, Jamie Roberts, and Dave Murray has just joined the crew, so we're excited to have him on as well. And today is Jamie Roberts' birthday, so happy birthday to you. Yay, yay, Jamie. Thanks to Sophie, who every week helps me with the lights and setting up everything. She's like the makes the magic happen here in Annandale, Virginia. And I want to thank my family for joining me. Come on in, Henry. Everybody join in. Yippee! Thanks, you guys, for being my partners in crime during all of this, whatever we are. So thank you so much for joining. Can't wait to see you next week. Have a wonderful week. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.